Hello YouTube makeup lovers. So today I wanted to do a video on color correcting, and I wanted to share with you guys my favorite color correcting products at the moment. Pretty much the color correcting routine that I do every single day is pretty much my concealer routine, and that is because I use an orange peachy toned concealer to kind of correct my under eye circle. I would say that of this whole color correcting craze that it's going on right now, I mean, color correcting, you know, there's always been the green concealers, the purple concealers, the pink concealers, but lately I just see them all over the place. At Sephora, the store is packed with color correctors. All the makeup lines are bringing out new color correctors, but the peachy orange toned correctors are ones that I have been using for many years to conceal my very dark under eye circles. That is like a pet peeve for me, and that is something that I use every single day. As far as the other color correctors, like the green, the pink, the yellow, there's, you know, a violet color, I really don't use those all the time. I do use a little bit of the green because I do get redness on the sides of my nose, because the green kind of corrects the red, and you can also use it on your face. And sometimes I'll use the pink to highlight. So those are pretty much my top 3 type of correctors, and I guess the order would be, the first one is my favorite, which is the orange peachy tone. That is the one that I use all the time. Sometimes I do use the pink, and then more seldomly I will use the green type of correctors. But today I just kind of want to share with you guys the ones that I love the most, and then I'm also going to do a little demonstration of how I use those 3 favorites of mine: the orange, the pink, and the green. There is the lavender one and there is a yellow one. Those I really don't use all that much, although I will show you the yellow ones that I have. I don't own any lavender ones because I don't think I need it. That you can use a little bit for brightening the skin. It's supposed to like liven you up a little bit, and I just don't use it for the, my skin is just fine with brightening with a pink color. And then you can also brighten with yellow. Again, I have used yellows before. I do have some yellows, but it's not something that I use every single time. So these are pretty much just kind of like my favorite type of correctors. And I mean, I just want to tell you guys the ones that I actually use. So first, let me show you my favorite correctors, and let's start with the peach one because that is the one that I use the most, and that is what is gonna cover any dark areas like the under eye area. That is my #1 corrector. I use it every single day, cannot live without it. And my favorite one is definitely the Eve Pearl Salmon Concealer. I know it looks weird in here. I put it in another container just because now they sell the refill form. And since it's the only product that I actually buy from Eve Pearl, a palette just isn't worth it for me to buy. But this is a Salmon Concealer, and I like the shade Tan. Also, NYX makes one that is very good if you want a drugstore alternative. And this is the Dark Circle Concealer, and I got the shade Medium again, just because I feel that it's just a better color to actually do the correction. And the one that I bought the most recently is from the brand Becca, and this is the Backlight Targeted Color Corrector in the shade Peach. So this one is a lot more orange, and this one just works amazing. I absolutely love it. This is the one that I kind of demonstrate in the video later on how I like to use that one. I also have this Becca one. This is also a corrector, but this one is very brightening. So it kind of does correct, but it also brightens a lot. So this one is really good. I had actually tried this one first, and since I really enjoyed it, that is kind of why I bought the Becca one. They also have the other colors like the green, and I think they have other shades of corrector. Urban Decay also has come out with a ton of correctors. I have only bought one, but I do think I will go back and get some of the other colors. I for sure want to buy the pink one, but the one that I bought first, which I've been loving, is the Peach Corrector. Again, it accomplishes the same exact thing. It just kind of, you know, brightens the under eye area and just covers any darkness that you may have. It just really masks those under eye circles. So really loving these correctors from Urban Decay Naked Skin. The Naked Skin concealers are my favorite, and it's the same consistency as the concealer. It also has the same one that just applies so nice and neat. So this one I love. One that I bought brand new. Now, since I really had a ton of the peach tone concealers, I wanted to buy something that kind of had a little bit of everything. And I went ahead and bought this Tarte palette. This palette is from the new Rainforest collection, and this is called the Wipeout Color Correcting Palette. And so far, I have been loving it. This is what it looks like. Again, it has a peach in here, but it also has a green color, which is the one that really covers the redness on the sides of the nose or any redness that you have on the face. It also has a yellow corrector. This one also can remove redness if it's slight. If you have a lot more redness, then you should probably go with a green. But I think this is a really good green because it's not too much. Some greens are just kind of hard to cover when you put foundation over them. And this green one is just perfect and it covers perfectly. But it does have a yellow. It also does have a contour shade, this palette. And it does have these two nude type shades that you can also use as concealer. But they're also very peachy, so they would work as a corrector. With this Tarte palette, I have read that some people kind of complain as to why it did not have the lavender shade or even maybe a more pink shade. Honestly, I really don't mind. I don't use the lavender shade. That one is also supposed to brighten and just make your skin look a little bit healthy and not sick or anything like that. But I just like to use the pink to brighten, and I already have some pink, so I really didn't mind. I just kind of really wanted this mainly for the green and to be able to test these shades out, and also for the contour shade. I kind of just wanted to use that one. So far I've been loving it. The consistency is really nice. I have drier skin and it just feels, it just kind of goes on nicely onto the skin. It doesn't feel, you know, how the kind of the Anastasia cream contour kit feels. That one is mainly meant for oily skin, and for dry skin it's kind of just hard to blend in. This isn't like that. These seem very, very blendable, and I've really been enjoying this palette. Other items that I have for color correcting, or maybe they're not meant to be color correctors, but I like to use them as color corrector and they achieve the purpose of color correcting, are the MAC Prep and Prime. And the one that I like the most is the pink. This one is called the Radiant Rose. This is the one that I like to use to highlight on my forehead, down my nose, chin, a little bit to my lip and forehead. I also have the peachy one, which is the Bright Forecast, and I also have the yellow one. I also have the MAC concealer palette, which you can of course also use for color correcting. They have a peachy color and they have the yellow color right here, so those can also be used for correctors. And then of course these are the concealers, but those are pretty much the ones that I have in my collection, and I really don't think I need that many more. The ones that I am interested in checking out are more of the naked skin ones, especially the pink, and then the Yves Saint Laurent, the Touche Éclat. I've heard the green one is really good in that line, but then I think, why do I need more green correctors if I have this one and it's also not something that I use all the time? These are the swatches of the Prep and Prime ones from MAC that I just showed you. There you see the pink, the yellow, and the peachy one. And do not worry, I will list all the products that you see here in the description box down below. Right here you see the swatches of the Tarte palette. I kind of love them. I love how all the concealer shades are kind of like peachy. You really much have three peachy shades, the really orange one and then the two lighter peaches. There's the yellow, there's the contour, and there is the green. So I'm really loving this palette so far. And here are the peachy ones. This one right here is the Urban Decay Peach Corrector. Here is the brighter peach corrector from Becca. This is the brightening corrector. And over here is the NYX corrector. And over here I have the Eve Pearl in tan. Let's get started with the demonstration of my favorite correctors. I'm pretty much just going to show you the three that I use the most often, and just to share with you guys how I use them, with what tools I use them. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. So now for color correcting, you can either do some of it before you apply your foundation or after you apply your foundation. And I kind of do a little bit of both. Right now I'm gonna apply some of the green, which is a color that counteracts the redness that you may have, and I usually get some redness on the sides of my nose. The green I like to do before I apply my foundation. So I kind of just take a little bit and This is a Sigma Precision Tapered brush, and I'm just gonna apply a little bit to the sides of my nose. I have a little bit of redness on my chin right here. And I don't really have much around my cheeks today, even though sometimes I do, and sometimes I get a little red right up here, but I have not, you know, I guess I'm not like that right now. So this is what I kind of put on before. I don't like to put it on after because then it's kind of hard to blend in and cover. But if you do it before your foundation, it blends in real nicely and you can't see the green, but you do see how there is no redness. I'm gonna use the Kogan Dough Aqua foundation. I really love this foundation. And I am just gonna put a little bit on my hand and just pat some on my face. Blend it in. I'm gonna use the Artis. This is the Oval 8 brush. I'm just gonna blend this in. And as you can see, the green from the color corrector has completely disappeared. So now that the foundation has been applied, now I'm gonna go in with my concealer, and this is when the next step that I do for color correcting. This is the one that I do the most. To me, this is the most important one in any type of color correcting, and I do this one every single day. The green, I don't do every single day. I don't do it very often, but the one that I'm gonna do next is like my go-to correcting step, and that is basically for the under eye circles. I like to use a very orangey salmon type color corrector under my eyes because I have very dark under eye circles. So that is always, if you watch any of my videos, you know that that is such an important step in my concealer routine. So that color correcting step I like to do after I apply my foundation. So the first thing I'm going to do is just, you know, put a little bit of eye cream under my eye area because I like to have that extra moisturized. And the reason I do this is because I do have dry skin. So I just like to have the under eye area very moisturized, or else it's going to look very dry. And you're going to see it kind of like wrinkly and crinkly, and you're going to see it crease. And then if I don't moisturize it, it's just going to be even worse, and it's going to look flaky, and it's just not going to look good. So now it's a color correcting, and I could take a color from this palette, like this orangey color, but for today I'm going to use the Becca one, which is this one right here. And this one is the Becca Backlight Targeted Color Corrector, and this is in the shade Peach. And I'm going to apply that with the Morphe E15 brush. So I'm just pretty much going to apply that under my eye area where my dark circles are at. Now that I have color corrected under my eyes with the orange corrector, I'm going to go in with my Flesh Tone Concealer, and today I'm going to use the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Cover Concealer. I use the shade R30, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use this MAC, this is the 195 brush. I'm going to apply this under my eyes, not only just where the corrector is, but just bring it a little bit down to highlight a little bit and just make it all look really nice. And just so it's not like a little area looking very bright and then the rest not the same. This kind of just brings it all in and makes it, just makes it work when you bring your concealer down a little bit more. This is the Sigma Tapered Kabuki brush. It is the F86. The next color correcting color that I really like is pink. I like to use pink for highlighting. The one that I'm currently using, that I have had for a while, is the MAC Prep and Prime, and I like it in the Radiant Rose. This Urban Decay Naked Skin line also has a really nice pink one. But I'm going to use the Prep and Prime, and this is just pretty much to brighten. I kind of just like to add some on the top of my forehead. I do put some down the center of my nose, here at the top of my lip, and a little bit on my chin. I think I'm gonna blend with a damp Beauty blender, just because I think it goes in nice and flawless on the skin, since I already have some makeup on and I don't want to just cake up the makeup in this. I just feel that it just like blends it a little bit better. So that is pretty much it. I really hope that you guys found this color correcting video helpful. Don't forget to come check out my Instagram page and my Facebook page. I will put all the links down below. And as always, I just want to say thank you so much for watching Be Lounge Makeup. Bye.